Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Adam Hussain, best known to Corrie fans as Aadi Alahan. Now, over the past 5 years, Aadi's been blown up in a car explosion, he's had a steamy extramarital affair with an older woman, and he's taken a bullet for Kelly Neelan, but now he's jetted off to start a new life in India. And Adam's here today to reflect on his 5 years on the cobbles. Adam, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be speaking with you.
Yeah, great to speak to you. Let's get the obvious question out of the way first. Adi's gone. I'm very sad about it. So what's the reason behind you leaving Coronation Street, Adam?
Um, I've been on Corrie now for 5 years,
Hmm.
and it's been such an incredible journey and privilege. Um, and I left because I wanted to do more, to do other stuff. I've had such a great time on Corrie, and I might always be back in the future as well. But
Hmm.
I just wanted to push myself as an actor as well
Sure.
and try and see what else I can do and just spread my wings a little and see what else is
Hmm.
out there.
Hmm. So what
Yeah.
were your friends and family's reactions to the news that you wanted to give up on Corrie?
Well, my f friends and family, some were very supportive. Some thought I was being very, very brave, and some were quite nervous about me leaving as well.
Yeah.
But I've always followed my intuition, my gut feeling, and especially when it came to my career, and it always turned out being the best choice
Yeah.
that I end up making. So no, I'm very excited to see what happens next.
Mm. And with the producers and your castmates at Coronation Street, have they all been kind of really supportive of you?
Yeah, everyone's been lovely. Kate Brooks has been lovely. Yeah, Verity, everyone really, like the whole cast. A lot of cast told me that I was being very brave for leaving, especially in like the current climate of like
Yeah.
like the cost and living and whatnot. But I just thought life is just about taking risks,
Mm.
and if you're not living your life taking risks, then you're not living life.
Well,
So
that's a good
yeah,
attitude. It's a good attitude.
yeah.
I mean, the Alahans have been a real fan favorite in recent years. How do you think that Ardy's departure is going to change things for the show and that family dynamic?
Well, I think the Alahans being one of the only Asian families on the show and quite relatable to the UK public and culture.
Mm.
Um, I'm not quite sure how much things will change, um, but I know Tanisha will do a brilliant job of carrying on
Yeah.
the Alahan legacy
Yeah,
while
she's
I'm
great.
away.
She's great, isn't she? She's
Yeah,
really
she
strong
is.
actor. Yeah,
She
I,
is.
it's difficult because you get the kids that grow up on Coronation Street, and I know that you weren't
Mm.
in the role of Ardy all that time, but it's he's 20 now, is he? I think so. It's about time that the kids flew the nest, and in real life,
Yeah.
sometimes they stay
Yeah.
and sometimes they move away. So I guess it's
Yeah.
reflective of real life, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very much reflective of real life. I mean, I flew the nest when I was 20 as well.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's quite relatable for a lot of people at that age to want to
Mm.
go off and find their own way in the world, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. So recently we've seen Ardy's life really spiraling after he wanted to take the LSD at the party, and then we find
Yeah.
that things that haven't been going well for him at the shop. What did you think of the
Yeah.
exit storyline that Corrie created for you?
I really enjoyed this storyline because it gave me a lot to play with. And it was like the perfect blend of both comedy and drama.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of humor, but a lot of emotional stuff as well that you could play with. And I think it just goes to show that ev that there is no like good or bad. Every character is just a conflict and culmination of what they think is right and wrong.
Mm.
And no one is necessarily a bad person or
No.
good. There's just everyone's a hero in their own story.
Mm.
And that's how Addy is trying to see himself as to try and fix things. But other people would see him as the villain in their story. So
Yeah,
I think it was
I've seen.
quite a fun story to do.
I've seen some fans online saying, "Oh, they've made Addy into a villain for this story." I didn't really get it. I just think he made some mistakes, and we all do. I'm really glad that they ended things on a positive note for him on the whole, especially with
Mm.
Amy. But I mean,
Yeah.
how would you describe the relationship between Addie and Amy?
I mean, I think it's that their relationship is a proper childhood teenage romance.
Mm,
I think they are like I think they would be the best suited for each other. I mean, Addie has obviously had other relationships and other heartbreaks. Um, so yeah, I say they're still on good terms, and their relationship is like Addie would be like the one that got away for Amy,
yeah, yeah, sure.
and that's not it's not her fault. It was just wrong timing.
Mm.
That's what it was.
Were you surprised that Corrie never really got you together properly? Because it's been teased for like 2, 3 years, hasn't it? But
Yeah.
they never, well, almost never really got you together as a proper couple. Were you expecting to be paired up properly at any point?
I was, but I guess that's like quite relatable to real life. I mean, like sometimes things just don't work out when two people want to be with each other,
Mm,
and I don't blame the story writers or the producers for that. I think they were very smart in doing that because it's quite relatable to real life as well.
yeah.
And people might not like it, and the people going through it themselves might not like it, but that's just the way it turns out to be.
Mm, mm. Well, I mean, he may not have made it with Amy properly, but he certainly had quite a few girlfriends over the past few years, despite being a bit of a late bloomer as
Yeah.
well. I mean, just recently we've had Lauren, for example. Do you think he had any affection for her at all, or was he just trying to save his own skin?
I think at first he was trying to save his own skin, but then he gradually started to develop feelings for her. But I think he felt guilty about that as well.
Mm,
So he's like, I shouldn't be messing her around or making her fall for me. I've done something bad and I shouldn't be manipulating her like this. But I think Addie can be a bit of a too much of a coward to to confront the situation and things.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. The other romance, of course, in recent years was Courtney. That was quite a
Yeah.
story. Do you remember what you thought when you heard that Aadi would be hooking up with this older married woman?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was quite crazy at the time, and they told me that the storyline would be very intimate and, you know, uh, raunchy in a way.
Yeah.
And I've never really done any acting that was like quite intimate that way, so I was like very excited to see what I could do with it. But I think it very much made sense for the character because Addie was. I think the audience couldn't really see it or anyone else, but he was deep down secretly still hurting over Kelly,
Mm.
and he threw himself into his work to sort of get over it. And then this older, attractive, successful woman was throwing herself at him, and I think he just got swept up in the chaos of things.
Yeah. I think Aadi does. I think
Yeah.
he's a sort of character that often gets in over his head with things without
Yeah.
realizing.
Yeah. 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 I know. I completely agree. I think Addy very much wears his heart on his sleeve, and that can get him into trouble a lot.
Mm, mm, yeah. I mean, trouble. Would you say that he was a victim in the story at all? Was Courtney preying on him?
Yeah, no, I don't think Addy was much of a victim. I think he was conflicted. Um, I think if the roles were reversed, where it was an older, more successful man,
Mm,
sort of, uh, you could use the word preying on a younger girl, then people would be a bit more in an uproar.
yeah.
But because it was an older woman preying on a younger boy, there's a different perspective on it.
Mm,
Um, I don't think Addy considers himself as a victim. I
no.
think he considers himself just as much as a culprit for ruining things with his dad's business partner and going against his boss's wife as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Addy at any point could have said no, but he didn't
Yeah. Do you
because
think
he
yeah.
enjoyed the excitement of it.
Do you think he learned a lesson from the relationship at least?
Yeah, I think he did. I think he did. Um, I think it was the only thing getting him over the that he suffered with Kelly. You
Mm,
know, um, I think having this someone show interest in him and making him feel special and loved. I think that's why Addy got swept off his feet with her.
yeah. Yeah. I feel so bad for Adu with what happened with him and Kelly because it was funny. You had the story where you were pretending to be engaged and then you actually got engaged, but you two had such great chemistry and it really felt like Adi and Kelly were suited for
Yeah.
each other, but it just never got off the ground, did it? Because Kelly had to do
No,
the night flit. Do you think that could have worked out for them had Millie Gibson stayed in the show longer?
I think so. I think Kelly was Addy's his true love.
Mm,
But obviously, I mean, he took a bullet for her. He pretty much tried to give his life for her,
yeah.
and she still left him. So he was very, very hurt over that.
Mm.
But I can imagine that if Millie Gibson, she's doing amazing now at the moment,
Yeah.
amazing actress.
Mm.
But I imagine if she did stay in the show, my and her character would have ended up getting together as a couple. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you were just really well suited. I would say that, would he have taken a bullet for anyone else? Maybe he would. He just seems to, he seems to fall for people hard and fast as Hardy, doesn't he?
He does. He does. He does. It gets him into a lot of trouble at the time as well. I mean, like
Yeah,
I said, he wears his heart on his sleeve.
he really
So
does. He really does.
yeah, yeah.
Speaking of that shooting scene, tell me a bit about how that was because you had the action scenes. It was on top of the roof, but wasn't really. It was the volume wall, wasn't it? Can you tell me a bit
Yeah, yeah.
about what it was like to do that?
So, when we got the email from the producers and whatnot, they said that they were going to bring in like technology and sets that they used in the studios that they used in Hollywood and whatnot,
Mm,
like a big volume wall and whatnot. So they built this actual set and had a big green screen, and it was all very much like a big movie set. So it
yeah.
was really, really cool. And I'm very excited. And I'm still like very honored and still pinch myself that I was able to be part of that.
Yeah, it was great. And you also had that
Yeah.
other action moment in previous years when you had the Coronation Street car crash week and you had the car explosion and everything. Can you tell me a
Yeah.
bit about what that crash was like to film?
Yeah. So we filmed up in the countryside near, I think it was near Bolton.
Mm,
Um, and we were doing a lot of night shoots. So we were camped up on one of the side roads in our trailers. And we basically had a lot of pyrotechnics and stunt guys and professionals on set. Um, and we would film the scene, and we'd have like really tall, like massive rain bars to simulate fake rain. And I remember while filming that, it was so cold, and I was drenched, and I was shivering, and we had to do it like 10 more times for the take. And I was like, oh my God, how many times am I gonna have to do this? But I mean, I was very privileged to be part of it, and I just remembering where I was sleeping in the trailer and I got a knock on the door saying, "Oh, but we're going to do the explosion now. Would you like to come see?" I said, "Yeah." So we ran and they had it all set up
Mm,
and we were all recording it, and they basically just set this car on fire and just blew it up, and it was so massive and crazy, and like it's still a really good core memory of mine. Just living that moment. So
yeah.
I'm very privileged to be part of that.
Yeah, yeah. I remember one of
Yeah.
the outcomes of that story was we had Ardy's lingering resentment of Dev because Dev saves Asher, doesn't he, instead of Ardy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
It felt like it was possibly going to go down the route of Ardy like wanted to take his revenge on his dad. Did you wish that they'd gone down that route a little bit more? Or are you glad that he let it drop relatively soon afterwards?
No, I think it's good that they they let it drop because I love Jimmy and Dev. I
Mm.
mean, it would have taken an interestingly dark turn
Yeah.
where Addy would kill his dad potentially to take over the inheritance and become the heir to the Alahan Empire. Um, but no, I never thought of it ending up that way. I thought of it as just a son and a father sort of like clashing and potentially Addy leaving the nest over that as well.
Yeah, because he was going to go to
Because
London,
he did,
wasn't he?
yeah, he was going to go to London at one point to study business,
Yeah.
but that never came to fruition, obviously.
Mm, mm.
But yeah,
Yeah. I absolutely love Jev and Jimmy Harkishin. He's great. He's such a brilliant actor and he makes me
yeah.
laugh so much. Tell me, what's it like being with him on set?
Oh, I love Jimmy. He's he's so funny and such a caring, sweet man, individual. And he pretty much took me under his wing when I joined the show and sh showed me the ropes of things. And I learned a lot, and he taught me a lot. And I have a lot of respect and love for that man.
Mm. He can get really, really serious because I've seen him perform once. We were behind the scenes watching him, and he gets really into the zone for the serious scenes as
Yeah,
well, doesn't he?
yeah, yeah. He pretty much directs the scene sometimes himself. I'm like, Jimmy, we do have a director, you know. He's like, I respect him a lot. Yeah, props to him.
Mm.
He always comes with his work prepared, knowing exactly how he wants to play the scene, and he does very much want it to be that way. But when we end up on the set, it all becomes a bit of a workshop between us all, between the characters, the actors, and the directors, and
Mm.
we sort of flesh out something entirely different from how we all envisioned it ourselves.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What about Tanisha Gori? Because I think that the dynamic that you two created as like a brother and sister nailed it straight away. Because she'd obviously
Ah,
grown up with Zenon playing Aadi for so long, but I totally bought you
yeah.
brother and sister. How do you find working with
Oh,
her?
thank
And
you.
how did you get that brother sister dynamic so right, do you think?
Well, before I even started acting, before my first job, um, I knew Tanisha from
Ah,
college. We were in the same class. Yeah,
okay.
and we're both yeah, and we were both being mixed race. And I first got my first job with ITV The Bay, and I dropped out, and she dropped out as well. But we became really good friends during that. But crazy synchronicity moment. My birthday is 9th of October, and her birthday is 9th of June. And then
Yeah.
all these years later, we're playing twins on Corrie. I'm like, that was like a bit of a crazy coincidence. And when they told me they were going to bring me in for a green screen, I didn't tell her because I wanted to surprise her. But
Yeah.
she obviously ended up finding out, and she was like very anxious, like, "Why didn't you tell me?" I was like, "I wanted to surprise you." But no, I love Tanisha. She's such a sweet, caring girl, and she's a very, very talented actress. And I'm looking forward to see what she does next on Corrie.
Mm, yeah, for sure, for sure. Did you find it difficult at all, kind of slotting into a character that's already been on screen for what, about 15 years before you got there?
Yeah, it was, it was a very, very big responsibility for me joining Corrie, but also taking over a well-established actor. Um, I felt like there was a nervousness that I didn't want to disappoint, and I had a lot of like pressure and expectations.
Mm,
Um, but like Tanisha and Jimmy reassured me that to just relax and just to just be yourself and
mm,
to take the character as your own,
mm.
and that's what I did, and it I think it turned out quite well.
Yeah, for sure. Did Corey like have an idea of where they wanted to go with Ardy with you in the role? Because but with when Zenon played him, and no disrespect to him, they didn't use him. He wasn't a fully fleshed out character, I felt. But so did they say, right,
Hmm.
with you in the role, we want Ardy to be like this now?
No, not necessarily. I just went in. Um, imagining how I would actually be in that situation with
Mm.
my own family, with my own sister or my own dad. But also, I wanted to play Adim as like this hormonal teenager who was like who had like temper tantrums
Yeah.
and was like loved his family, but also got on with his sister, but they'd have like scuffles and whatnot, and like proper like arguments with his dad and whatnot, like how teenagers are. So that's
Yeah.
how I played it, and the producers and that loved it. So we sort of went in our own direction, and we just as we went along created our own way with it.
Yeah, no, it worked really, really well. It reminded me a bit of when David and Sarah Platt were younger, and they also used to butt heads so much. And yeah, you kind of captured a bit of that,
Yeah.
I think. Speaking of
Oh,
other characters who I enjoyed you working with, Evelyn in the shop.
Evelyn.
The scene when you were giving her a performance management or whatever it was, just brilliant. So what was it like working with Maury
Oh,
Littman?
I love Maureen Lipman. She's such an amazing actress and such an amazing individual as well. And I have a lot of respect for her, and it was a great honor working with her. I was slightly intimidated as well because,
Yeah, I bet, I
I
bet.
mean, she's a dame. So, but no, I really enjoyed our scenes together, and I really do wish her all the best on the show. And I hope we cross paths again in the future. If not on Corrie, on something else, because I know like she periodically leaves the show
Mm.
to do other stuff. So hopefully I get to work with her on something else as well.
Yeah, no, you were great together. And don't forget, a dame is only one letter away from Adam, so don't let that intimidate you. Make it just food for thought there. I loved your portrayal of Aadi, and I get the impression that a lot of the fans of Corrie did as well. Were you quite pleased with how your portrayal of him went down?
I was quite surprised, to be honest, that I had a lot of people backing me and appreciating my work. But whenever I approach something, I never think about any outside influences or whatnot. I just try and focus on the story and the character and what's required of me. And and the fact that people loved and enjoyed it just shows that I've done a really good job, and I'm proud that I was able to serve the story and the character and make the fans happy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, there were so many people that were writing in on Corrie's social media to say how gutted they were when you found out
Yeah.
that Aadi was leaving. I mean, so can you offer any hope for Aadi fans who think that who are kind of wanting him to come back one day? Is it on the cards still, do you think?
I mean, never say never. I mean, it's still Addie's still a character, and I can always be back in the future. So to all of my fans, don't worry, I may be back. I mean, it's not a no. It's not a no. I don't know when, but I will be.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you've got the roots in the street, haven't you? You've got the links. As long as Dev's there, as long as Ash is there, you've
Yeah,
got a twin. It's not going to
I'm
be
still a part
weird
of
for you to.
still a
Yeah.
part of the Alahan family.
Yeah, for sure. Well, in
Yeah.
the meantime, it looks like you're spreading your wings a bit and trying out some roles in short films. So recently, your short film Spice for Life was available on YouTube. Great stuff.
Yeah.
What can you tell the listeners about that?
So I've done a short film recently called Spice for Life. The writer and director based it on his own life
Hmm.
as an Asian kid growing up in the foster care system who's suffering with trauma and PTSD. And my foster mum is played by the great Kirsty Lee Porter
Mm.
on Hollyoaks. And we had like 1 or 2 days shooting, and it was. I wanted to the character. I played the character in a way that I wanted to show the mental instability of him, of his trauma and PTSD, and how people keep emotions bottled up inside, and people take it the wrong way until at the very end you see the that stoic facade break, and
Mm.
then your heart breaks for him as well.
Yeah.
And we think we did that in a really good way. I've also been working on another big feature film at the moment as
Oh,
well.
really?
Yeah, called
Tell me
Steel
more.
Donkeys. So this director is called Richard Stanley.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of horror films. He turns a lot of H.P. Lovecraft's books into films. His last film he did was Color Out of Space, which was a H.P. Lovecraft film. He did that with Marlon Brando. He
Hmm.
also wrote and directed Island of Dr. Monroe,
Right.
which was with Marlon Brando. Um, but this film that we're shooting at the moment, it's a comedy action horror film.
Right.
Um, I c- you can search it
Sounds
up
good.
on Google on the IMDb. Um, that we're basing it in Birmingham
Hmm.
after the great Ozzy Osbourne. There's a lot of it's going to involve a lot of rock music. Like we filmed 4 nights at this big rock festival called Bloodstock in
Yeah.
Wolverhampton for 4 nights. We had full access to the whole festival, and then at night we'd be camping outside. And while we were filming, it was a very small, closed crew. So me and the three leads, me and the two other young boys, and a camera guy and a boom guy, we'd go off into the crowds doing our scene with Richard at a distance with a pair of binoculars and a walkie-talkie telling us cut. And we'd be doing our scene and we'd be interacting with people as well, not knowing that they were in the film. Um, and we added a lot of scenes on the day as well, just like improvise, like Richard would see like a food truck and say, "Oh, I want to do a scene here," and
Mm.
tell us to just improvise a scene. And we do that, and it was very, very fun. But we've taken a break now from that, and we're going to be filming the rest of it late October time around
Hmm.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Um, there's going to be some big names potentially in it, like Wesley Snipes,
Oh, wow.
Cynthia Rothrick, and either Jason Momoa or Marilyn Manson as well.
Hey, that's really good.
So,
That's good.
yeah. I don't know where it'll be exactly. Hopefully it'll be a cinema release, but if not, then it should be on streaming platforms.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
That's really great that you got a film role. I know you love your film after, you did your podcast
Yeah.
last year going for a take. So, and it's lovely
Yeah.
hearing you speak about just the craft of acting as well and how you kind of get to know your character. What would you say it is about being an actor that speaks to you the most? What do you love about acting?
I think acting is just a way of life, I think. Like I think everyone's an actor. I think everyone behaves differently with certain situations and certain people. I've heard something that we all have three faces. One
Right.
face that our family and close friends see, one face that the public sees, and one face that you yourself only see. We all adapt and behave differently. And that's why I love it because not only I can understand the way people think, but I get to see things from other perspectives when playing characters, and it's a good outlet as well for and to process and let out certain emotions that you don't otherwise get to express. I think that's why I love acting.
Yeah, yeah. Great. Well, I can't wait to see this film. And thank you so much for coming on
Oh,
the
thank you.
podcast. No, thanks for coming on the podcast today and showing us another one of your faces that maybe Corrie fans
Oh,
haven't
thank
seen
you.
before. It was, yeah, really, really fascinating. And good luck with the film. And I have got fingers
Thank
crossed
you
for
so much.
maybe one day back to Coronation Street.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so
No
much.
worries.
Thank you.
Lovely speaking to you. Thank you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. You too. You too. Bye. Bye.